for Max's upcoming Harry Potter adaptation, we have another major red flag regarding this show. After they had previously announced that they would be committing to inclusive and diverse casting. Now, one of the individuals that they've hired to write the show says that he is uninterested in a rigorous adaptation. And in fact, he says he hasn't even finished reading all of the books. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com. And yes, the newly announced writer for Max's upcoming Harry Potter TV series, Andy Greenwald, claimed he does not like the idea of a rigorous adaptation. And in fact, he has not even finished reading all of the books. He was announced as one of the writers on the Writers Guild of America website. If we click on this link, you can see right there, this is his profile. And you can see right there, Harry Potter series is listed on his section titled Television Series Employment History. So it does indeed look like he is working on this show. And what is interesting about this, obviously, is that on his podcast called The Watch, back in February, he was asked if it would be possible to directly adapt Rowling's Harry Potter novels to television. His co-host basically asked, can you do this basically page by page and adapt it? And he actually was honest and answered yes. He said, yes, you can. In fact, he said this. These are really, really rich, and they are very long books, especially later in the series. People adore them, and successive generations are discovering them and loving them every day. The stores are packed everywhere they are in the country and around the world. People are buying the chocolate frogs and the hats and the owls, all of it. You can monetize almost every single aspect of it, and they kind of have. So he's obviously admitting that this is a very well-loved franchise property, whatever you want to call it, and it's still popular today. And then he said this. So the idea of an incredibly rigorous text-to-screen adaptation is, I think, probably a safe bet to be a success. So he admits that if you actually adapt the source material accurately, it would be a success. He admits this. These people know this. They know this. This is what I've been talking about. These people know the source material. They know what they're doing is risky. They know that they're going to get the ire of the fans. We had that whole report in Variety saying that they're battling fans because they want to create their own stories rather than just adapt the properties that they say that they're adapting. So they know this. They know that if they actually adapt the property, it's going to be successful. But that's not what really is interesting to them, because he said this. If something is trumpeting its absolute rock-steady faithfulness, I think the pleasures that can be derived from that are probably not going to be for me because I didn't read all the books. I read them to my older daughter until she could read them for herself, and then she dusted me. So there you go. He says that a rock-steady faithfulness to the source material, to the novels, would not be for him. Yet this is the guy that they hired to write this show. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. This is going to be another desecration. It's going to be another Rings of Power. They're going to take something that people like and they are going to crap all over it and say, no, you cannot have that. This is not for you anymore because we hate you. And we are going to do everything we possibly can to punish you. And that is what they're doing. That's what this looks like to me, what they're going to be doing. And he goes on and says this, and I think maybe there's some other creative possibilities within this world, but J.K. Rowling controls all of it and is not going to let anyone else come play with her toys. And that's her right, and is obviously very profitable for her. So that's what we get. Again, he's even like talking about it in the sense of her toys, right? Like he wants to come play with her toys and he wants to smash them because he doesn't like being faithful. And he says there's other creative possibilities. What could that mean? What could that mean? So huge, huge red flag for this show, given this guy being on the writing team. Massive red flag. And it comes in the wake of another one that we had recently. Obviously, they did a casting call. It was published to the official Harry Potter website, Wizarding World, and noted the production team was, quote, committed to inclusive, diverse casting. For every role, please submit qualified performers without regard to ethnicity, sex, disability, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, or any other basis protected by law unless otherwise specifically indicated. You can see it right there. There is the casting call that they published to their website. You can see there is their in the small print, their statement how committed to inclusive, diverse casting they are. It's just, and this is obviously for Hermione, Ron, and Harry, because it says here open casting call for children to play the roles of Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron Weasley. So they're probably going to change these characters. They're going to change these characters from how they were originally depicted in Rowling's novels, as well as in the previous film adaptations. And this is not surprising. We've seen this, and all of these major film companies have these quotas. Prime Video has it. Disney has it with their Reimagine Tomorrow stuff. Amazon MGM Studios is the same as Prime Video. They all have this stuff. We know that Warner Brothers Discovery has it as well. In fact, they have a whole like chief of DEI who's literally just in the past year gone on record saying how he is trying to get people who are opposed to woke ideology to leave his company. And he actually institutes policies to try to get them to resign by themselves rather than having to kind of force them out and have to pay them severance and all these other benefits that they would have to pay them. So he's trying to get them to like literally just exit the company by themselves so he can fully take over the company with the woke ideology. I mean, they literally are on record saying this stuff. And we also know that J.K. Rowling has no problems with changing her characters. She did so with the stage play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child when she cast actress Noma Dumezweni. Now, obviously, people are going to say it's a stage play. That happens all the time. And sure, I get that. Obviously, there's a really good clip going around X right now. James Earl Jones is King Lear, etc. But that was also in a different time, right? We weren't living in the time period of the mid 2020s, the early the late aughts in the 2018s, 2019s, etc., where all of this is done at the behest of an agenda. It's done out of spite. It's done out of malice. They're doing this on purpose. They're doing this to cause division. They're doing this as part of an agenda. When James Earl Jones is playing King Lear, it's actually based on meritocracy because he's the best, and they picked him because he is the best. It wasn't based on the fact that, oh, you just happen to look a certain way. You just happen to have sex with people in a certain way, certain disordered way. That is why you get the job. Like, that is how they do this stuff now. They literally have it. It's like I said, they have these casting quotas. So we do live in a different era now when it comes to this stuff. And Rowling defended this, and she basically accused anyone criticizing this of being racist. And she says, she told The Guardian, with my experience of social media, I thought that idiots were going to idiot. But what can you say? That's the way the world is. Noma was chosen because she was the best actress for the job. When John told me he cast her, I said, oh, that's fabulous, because I'd seen her in a workshop, and she was fabulous. I haven't seen the stage play, but everyone I've talked to that claims to have seen it says it's absolutely terrible. So I don't know if that reflects on her as an actress, or the story in general, but apparently the play's no good. So despite all of this, obviously massive red flags. Our hair is raised up, our hackles are up. But Rowling and Max executives have claimed the series will be authentic to the original books. We've heard this before, right? The Rings of Power guys said we're going back to the books. We're always going back to the books, back to the books, back to the books. They just recently tried to gaslight people, saying that that they contacted Tolkien scholars and the Tolkien state to do a review to make sure everything was canon to the Legendarium. It's like, what are you even talking about? Such a bold-faced lie. No, you did not. And even if you did, they probably were like, just sign the check please. Thank you very much. And we know they're Tolkien scholars that they talk to are people like the Tolkien professor Corey Olsen, who claims that there is no such thing as canon in Tolkien. Nevertheless, this is what the Max people said. This is their initial press release. The stories from each of Rowling's Harry Potter books will become a decade-long series produced with the same epic craft, love, and care this global franchise is known for. The series will feature a new cast to lead a new generation of fandom, full of the fantastic detail, much-loved characters, and dramatic locations that Harry Potter fans have loved for over 25 years. Each season will be authentic to the original books and bring Harry Potter and these incredible adventures to new audiences around the world, while the original classic and beloved films will remain at the core of the franchise and available to watch globally. Rowling added this: Max's commitment to preserving the integrity of my books is important to me, and I'm looking forward to being part of this new adaptation, which will allow for a degree of depth and detail only afforded by a long-form television series. And then we had HBO and Max Content Chairman and CEO Casey Bloys saying this: we are delighted to give audiences the opportunity to discover Hogwarts in a whole new way. Harry Potter is a cultural phenomenon, and it is clear there is such an enduring love and thirst for the wizarding world. In partnership with Warner Brothers Television and J.K. Rowling, this new Max original series will dive deep into each of the iconic books that fans have continued to enjoy for all of these years. So obviously, they said they want to be authentic. Rowling is saying that they are committed to preserving the integrity of her books, but we know that she's not even committed to that. She came out post writing all the books claiming Dumbledore was gay. She did the race swap in her stage play. So we know that she is not actually opposed to a lot of these woke changes, despite her being opposed to transgender ideology, which is a tentacle of wokeness. She does push a lot of these other identity politics and things like that, and disordered lifestyles. So we'll see what happens with this. I am not optimistic about this whatsoever. I definitely feel like this series is probably the next one that these Hollywood screenwriters want to get their hands on, and they want to smash it because not only do they do not like that J.K. Rowling is opposing their transgender ideology push, but there are so many people like myself that actually do enjoy Harry Potter and the themes that novel series has embedded in it, good versus evil, sticking together with your friends, etc., learning from your mistakes, the power of true love, a mother's love with her son, the power of forgiveness with Harry and Snape, etc. So many really strong, good themes in those books, and you can only imagine what these writers want to do with the series because they hate those themes. They are opposed to those themes. That is not how they want the world to look like. That is not what they want the world to be. And they will do everything they can to shape these shows, movies, etc., into the image of that they want the world to be. And they want you to buy into it. But we are not doing that. We are saying absolutely not. This is not going to happen. And we have said no with our time, with our money, etc. Just look at what we've done with the video game industry this year. Fantastic, fantastic work there. Saying no to Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Saying no to Concord. Saying no to Star Wars Outlaws. And saying no to Assassin's Creed Shadows as well, among others. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know what you make of them hiring this guy who hasn't read the books and who claims that an actual rigorous adaptation would be successful, but he's not interested in doing that. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.